Welcome to Center of Light. I got some news for you. I hope you like that intro. I've worked on it for a little while today. I like having fun. If you're not having fun, what are you doing? Have fun. So I've been wanting to do a presentation. I haven't done any in a while. And I've been hanging out with my beautiful boy, Eden Sky. But I want to impart what I think is happening in all this stuff that might be going on. Welcome to Center of Light. Good news. The good news for the modern man, right? I have my anchor team. So tonight we're going to spread a little good news, and also I'm going to pull out some cards. I'm going to read some cards for individuals, whoever I feel led to. So this is by surprise. Hello, everyone. I'm a little off-put, actually. I don't feel completely centered yet, and not. It just feels almost like it's not going to fully come there. Don't know why. It could be the fact I haven't done it in a while. No, it's not that. It's not that. I don't know what it is. Either way, hello, everyone. There's Dora's in the house. Brenda, Geraldine, Dean. Hello, Deanie. My dad's birthday yesterday. He made 85 years old. Dig that. Hi, Trudy. Lincoln brother from another mother. Cindy Kelly. Christopher Porsche. What's up, Chris Porsche? Nori Love. Nicole. Sri. Davy. Steve Stone. Kelly Curtis. Nicole Parrish. Paige. Hi, Paige. Abigail. Falling in. Scott Johns. What's up, bro? I got to make one quick adjustment. Give me a second. Everyone. New stuff. Always getting new gear. I just got a 60-inch TV from Hisense that my other TV was not cooperating, so it was 55, so they sent me a 60-inch after 5 months of... I deserve that 60-inch. So that's what I'm working with now. Lots of new stuff. So tonight we are talking about good news for the modern man. We are the modern man. The world is not so modern anymore. The normal world is not so normal and modern anymore. It's retro, y'all. And we are in retrograde, or we just come out of it. It's metaphorical either way. You look out and about, you see a bunch of redonkulous stuff happening. 5 years ago, this was unheard of. Unless you were a serious conspiracy theorist or a serious avid researcher and you like chasing rabbits into deep holes only to find out things. But this is not going to be in a negative slant. I might bring up some negative things that are happening in the world, but it's not about leaning into that. It's about empowering you and empowering me, and together we become empowered and we unite and become a mighty force, unstoppable force. Of course, we know that, but why are we so hesitant to do that? Them Democrats and the Republicans and them libtards, time to grow up. If you go at it from this posture, you're part of the problem for everybody else who's wanting peace. Because you can bet when these people throw out these slander bombs, as the words fall out of their face, they have no peace. Because saying such things doesn't feel good inside. But the good news is, are you looking for the good news? And if you are, then you are the good news. You are the new world modern man. Don't get lost in the noise. Don't get lost in the noise. Yeah, but Keith, the world is so real. I know. I talk about this all the time. Not because I don't think you understand. Because it's integral. The world is a very powerful place. It's like a casino. Or a strip club. Or a bar. Or hanging out with your friends on a Friday night and y'all haven't seen each other in a while. It's a very powerful space to enter. You have entered a very powerful space of light and dark, But the truth, listen to this, but the truth is actually unbiased. The truth does not have a bias of what's right and wrong, good, bad, light, and dark. The truth is the source of everything that gives birth to anything that can ever possibly happen, light or dark. And if you're not with that program, I want to offer to you that there is another God. And I mean that literally. It's not that there's another, it's a more accurate depiction, grasp of what God is as the truth. There's only one God. Everybody just believes in it differently. There are 7.7 billion people on this planet. Trust me when I tell you there are 7.7 billion religions walking around bipedal on every continent. So, what is the common thread? The love, the good news. The good news is that you embody it. In fact, the good news is you are it. When you're not plugged or attached to the volume in that powerful place we know as the world. Hello, Debbie. Hello, Rhonda. Hello, Rena. Dana Trotter in some California. Carla Holy. Elwood. Randy Mikefield. Waverly. I'm starting to fall in. At first, I was having some difficulty. Difficulty? There's no difficulty. It just wasn't the time. I was already fallen in. I'm talking about feeling that. My backup, y'all. Hello, Vicky Benoit. So tonight we're talking about good news. Let me show you this banner. It's kind of cute. I have nothing to do all day except have fun. I love what I do. Of course, people say it's over the top. It ain't over the top. I ain't started yet. It's also a vision for me that one day I am going to have a studio to output Center of Light. It's going to be a very large platform, and it's going to reach millions of people. It's doing it already. Center of Light Radio, as of a couple of years ago, a few years ago, went to a 4+ million audience. This is only the precursor of what I know is the road for myself and many other people. So I play this out, I act it out as manifesting what I know is to come. I'm leaning into the manifestation. I'm not waiting, I'm participating. And I'm aggravating and exciting the cosmic tapestry until it gives me what I want. Right? And what I want is to impart to you some very good news. Let's get real. Let's not get biased. Let's just get real. Jeffrey Epstein. How does that make you feel when you think about it? Don't judge it. Don't label it. Just feel the feeling. This is very powerful. Probably something powerful that many of you have never experienced if you allow yourself. Just think the name Jeffrey Epstein and all that's tied to that. Don't judge your feeling. Don't even label your feeling. Be aware of the feeling, but think about it. What the news, the world, the noise has pressed into you really hard. I'm not saying anybody did that to you, but it's just the fact that it exists. Pushed into you really, really hard. How does it feel? Don't judge it. Don't label it. Just become aware. Prince Andrew. No way. He did. Prince Andrew. Just how does it feel? The fires in the world. The Amazon was burning. It's probably still, I don't know. I haven't caught up on that recently. Anyone know? Please say rainforest is no longer burning. Rainforest is still burning. If you have a paragraph or a couple of sentence update news for all of us about the Amazon. Then we had Africa. And Africa's still burning, if to my knowledge. And now Australia is burning. I did a presentation a few months ago called City is Burning. And it pertained to the Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris. California has been burning. There's karma on so many levels tied to all of this. Not only for the people in California, Africa, Australia, and the Amazon, and everywhere else, and whatever else is happening. There's karma attached to it, all of it, to all of it, to all of us. But what is the fire doing? What does fire, by its very nature, do to those in its proximity? I always use the term, the divine fire is getting higher. Yes, Nori says Australia is also burning. Yeah, koala bears. 350 plus koala bears are presumed dead. So, what does fire do naturally to any living creature that's around it other than I'm warming my hands or I'm cooking my food? It makes you want to scat. It brings things out. It makes them run away, run out. Fire is purifying. Radical transformation. Fire, divine fire. If God is love, then it's about developing the love within to the level God is. Fire, it's about purification. So what those fires are doing, it's affecting those directly involved in its direct karma. Yes, it is. And some are above the karma as to why they are there, to be the light in such situations. But what fire is doing in today's world, it's bringing those people out of the woods. The woods are on fire, and those people are running out. The divine fire is mirroring to us and to those who are karmically bound to whatever it is they're doing. Fire in the hole. It's becoming visible. This is happening. Jeffrey Epstein, Prince Andrew. Jeffrey Epstein is, quote, a nobody in the game, but he's now a major player. Then you got someone of a royal stature. I'm not saying he did it. I'm just saying it's visible. It's coming out. Whatever that is or isn't, it's coming out. I seen the interview. It's hogwash. That's my thoughts about that. You may have your own. It's all coming out. People are being implicated left and right. And that rabbit goes deep into the hole. You have no idea what's about to come out of that hole. Fire. Fire. Ding, 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 ding. Alarm, alarm, alarm. And the spiritual fire trucks are on the job. How does it feel in your gut? Don't label it. Don't judge it, nor yourself, for having the feeling. How does it feel when you see these posts about the missing children? Makes you madder than shit, doesn't it? But it is happening. 5 years ago, this didn't exist to where we could see it. It's always existed. So the fire is burning the debris. And now we can see. So the good news, in contrast to the world being on fire, it's making the varmints scatter out of the woods. You can see people when they're out of the woods. You can't see them when they're in the woods. I am going to share with you. You better hold on. The world as you know it does not exist anymore. In fact, it's hard to keep up with it all every day just to ground yourself for the day, however that day simply is in and of itself. Even trying to grasp a single day, a week, more so a month, that's all topsy-turvy now. There is no solid ground. So how do I find solid ground if there's no solid ground? You find it by moving with the fast-paced river. You let go. You just get in the river with everybody else. Everybody's getting in the river. Some consciously, most unconsciously. So when we all go down the water flume together and have fun, we go back to the garden. We're in the amusement park, the divine amusement park. But you try to bring a kid onto a water flume at an amusement park, when they don't want to go, they're going to hold on to every railing all the way up that ladder, scared to death. Not knowing the exhilarating ride and fun they can have if they just let go of the rail and allow themselves to sail downriver. That's where they will be delivered like everybody else. The volume is getting turned up. The noise of the world's going to get really, really loud. And the quieter you become, the noise of the world is going to get even louder. That sounds painful. It is painful because you're compassionate. The volume of the world is going to hurt you itself because it's just so noisy. So how do I shield myself from the world so it doesn't hurt my ears? You don't. You expose yourself to it. You literally expose yourself to the child who has the flu, so to speak. The world has a collective flu. Very bad strain of virus it has. Literally, it's a virus. In the divine matrix, it's a poison that was dropped into the divine matrix. Or just an idea that some higher entity entertained. He just entertained an idea. And because we're all branches of that tree, we're all dreaming the same dream. Until we wake up because we realize I'm sleeping. I'm just simply sleeping. You can be asleep with your eyes open, as well as you can be awake with your physical eyes closed. Let's see who's here. Welcome, everyone. Debbie Shelton says, it blows my mind, y'all. Lincoln Newman, my bro ham sandwich, says, is there any mention of former President Clinton being on those trips? If he is mentioned means he is in pictures, he's in tons of pictures. I'm not going to get into a negative side of that. I'm not. But I know you weren't asking. I know you were asking genuinely. But I'm not. I'm saying that for me. Hello, Brenda. Lincoln says, I was going to say this is very painful and it could lead you into separately dark places. It can. Very well it can. Very well it can. Nori Love says, fire purifies. Robert Norman Scribner. Trudy says, yes, I am drawn to send love to Mother Earth during my meditation. Fantastic. Elwood says, I've been hearing that name, but I don't know what he is. I've been hearing that name, but I don't know what he is. Elwood, what name is that, sir? Hello, Linda. Lincoln says, what if you don't watch any of news at all? That's fantastic. If you're on Facebook, you are watching the news, my friend. If you are on Facebook, if you are on YouTube, you are watching the news. It is a source of external stimuli, and it's coming in. Reading a book that's not in your highest good is the news. It's taking in information from a non-worthy, reliable, unbiased source. It's all news. The good news is you are a conscious, aware human being. Really what you are that which is aware that you exist. You are that which is aware that you exist. Who is this? What is this that has this awareness that I, who is this I that exists? So you have three components. You, or the awareness that you exist. So you have this wheel, this natural momentum that is moving in your behalf innately. You don't even have to do it. You just sit and think, oh my gosh, I exist. I exist, this thing we call existence, and then it curves back within itself, and a wheel in your favor begins to propel you forward. The problem we are having is that we're stopping, we keep putting on the brakes. We keep grabbing the brakes. Oh, Epstein, yeah, Elwood, Jeffrey Epstein. If you have not read it, it would be best in your consciousness not even to get involved. It's not necessary. But if you want to learn about it, it's everywhere. Kelly says, I've gone to hell and back several times since October. It's been a ride. You see, that is the attitude I'm speaking about. We get it. It's not so personal. The world and the people around you doing those things to you is not personal. It's not personal. It's not personal. No one's doing a something to you. You have established a relationship with a something and or a person. As to why when it does not go in the way that you want it to, that gave you stability before, when it begins to move, to you it becomes noise, and no one likes noise. So we put our hands over our metaphorical ears and say, stop doing that. The noise is going to get louder. And the more you go, la, 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 I don't hear you, I don't hear you. One, you're going to find yourself with unresolved issues because of your denial of the truth of what's happening all around you. And also, that's a way of not taking responsibility. There you go. Oh my God, I need to write that down. Denial is a ploy to not take responsibility. Denial is a way to not take responsibility. I am in denial. This is not me. I don't believe this. This can't be happening. Denial is not taking responsibility. That's what denial is. The world is not doing something to you. You are being affected by it, by your own choice, or your own ignorance, or your own beliefs, or your own whatevers. Denial will never put power in your lap to change your situation with a person or a thing, or even the entire world that you live in. And denial is not a river in Egypt. Denial is like piles of dog shit that we inevitably walk in because we're not aware of it on the ground. And we soil our shoes. And now we have to walk forward in our life with mess. The mess we have in our life, the mess we have on our shoe, on the sole, on the sole of our shoe, on the sole of our life as we move inward, upward, and forward. So denial is not a river in Egypt. It creates piles of confusion, dog poop piles of confusion. And inevitably, we walk in it when we don't take responsibility. And then we want to go to blame the person who walked the dog who took a crap on your lawn versus being aware of what your lawn really is. It's taking responsibility, have absolute awareness. If you are aware, you can avoid the mess in your life. And right now, collectively, the world, the people of it, has found themselves in one hell of a mess. The good news is, if you take on the information, wisdom, the love, the gesture I'm imparting to you, you will understand the world is not a place for you to take things personally. It will kick your ass. Well, Keith, I'm already there. You ain't been brutally beat yet. The percentage of things manifesting in your life that you don't want to have happen, the volume's getting turned up simply by being you, me being me, and whatever we are, it's going to start mirroring itself to you even greater. People talk about how to manifest your life. You go into meditation, you become clear. That is a very powerful thing. Listen to this. 10 years ago, doing meditation, to where things are today, is almost equal to the 10 years of meditation ago that you had to do for hours and hours and months to manifest. That's happening now. So if you clear and you meditate, you're using nitrous oxide, you're riding on a spiritual space shuttle. But if you're not clear, can you give me an example? I'll give you a really good one, a powerful one. So you wake up tomorrow morning and you get your coffee, get your whatever it is you do, you get your day going, you're going to check your social media. And you look at the Democrats and the Republicans. And both of them are picking on the libtards. It's aggravating. To me, it's just outright aggravating. Nancy Pelosi, Donald Trump, Nancy Pelosi, Bernie Sanders, and everybody's throwing punches at each other, man. Let me give you an example of how troubling things can show up for anyone in the very near future if you don't clear yourself out. The monkey. Let's use that analogy. You wake up, social media, everybody pointing finger. You might be saying, well, Keith, who do you have on your feed? You could be deleting all that. Point is, we know people are doing that, and we know to what level they are going, and God knows what level they will be willing to go. This is the analogy of how you need to get your things together or things can go awry for you. Because I'm telling you now, it's not a bad affirmation. I'm not supporting you in something that I don't want for you to have happen or disempower you. But the likely truth of it all is how you think things are in the social media now with all the different sides of the fence coming at each other. Imagine October 2020. What do you think October 2020 is going to be like? What do you think November 5th is going to be like? November 6th is going to be like, and the 7th and the 8th and the 9th and the 6 months after that, regardless of who's voted in. How do you think that's going to be? How loud do you think the noise in the world is going to increase? Same, likewise, you are no different, whether this has to do with politics or not. Your life and what you tell yourself as a story is politics. But you never thought about your daily life, if it's not aligned with truth, is politics. Because you are being governed by a belief system. You're being governed by a system. Political people are governed by the system. People who are spiritually political, they're governed by their belief system. So likewise, with all the people who follow the political arena, I'm not saying politics is right, wrong, indifferent, good, bad, up, down, hot, cold. I'm just stating a fact. Come November 2020, this chaos is going to ensue. You are part of that world. And it's going to have the world's attention. The entire world, out of all the political campaigns, presidential office that ever happened, the gaze is going to be amazing. How do you think the world's going to beat to that drum? Regardless of the outcome. Are they going to wake up or are they going to stay numb? Yeah, but you don't. Yeah. This can also happen to you in your life. It's happening to you in your life. It's happening to me. We're all part of this spin. We need to make it a win-win for everybody. The good news is you have the power of choice. And you have a voice. In a year from now, 1 year from now, 1 year, what's today's date? The 23rd, 1 year from now, the world that you know of as today will not be the same. 5 years ago, look where we are now. Look at the world. I'm not saying something beautiful can't just magically ignite. There is a gradation of how energy plays itself out. And without a doubt, as we look all about, so in a year from now, your level of not even trying to manifest your life is going to just show up. Whoop. Can you handle that? You see, time, the buffer of time is actually a benefit. It's actually a benefit for the times we're living in. If it was not for the shock absorber of time, we cannot handle the manifestations that would happen by the fear encapsulated in our head. Right now, time is a buffer, so we can refine what's beginning to happen. Oh, I don't like this, so I can work on it. If it wasn't for time, you have a thought, boom, there you are, and you're in a situation. That window is depleting. Gonna take a short pause. Let's see who's in the room. Let's see what's happening with my beautiful tribe. Hey, Tanya. Belief in ourselves, Tanya says. Yes. Kelly says the shit is going to hit the fan. And so tonight I called this the good news. I enjoyed making the banner, this silly little banner with my news team. I like being creative. It's a lot of fun. But it's about the good news. Every time something is happening in the world, fires, children being trafficked, the royalty in England, there's a lot coming no one is going to like. About the things that are going to be revealed, you won't believe it. And I don't mean only about these three subjects that I've touched base on. I'm talking about things you never thought possible. Creatures you never thought possible. Realities you never thought possible. Things you never have known to exist. It's here. Basically, the veil is being pulled back so far. Everything in the universe that is possible is at your conscious disposal if you choose to consciously direct your life, or at your unconscious pay you a visit. It could show up like a car wreck, an illness, breaking your foot, find yourself in trouble always, even though you're a good person and you mind your business. Okay? The good news is every time something catastrophic happens in the world, there is no way that something equally powerfully as beautiful cannot happen at the same time. For every illness on the earth, there's a cure. Something bad, we use that word, happens in the world, something beautiful also is birthed at the same time. It's called duality. And it's the something, this one has to exist because of this one. And what that is that gives rise to both of those is pulsing inside of you, saying, it's now or never. Come hold me tight. Kiss me, my darling. Be mine tonight. It's moving. What is that it? It's you. It is the part of you that is aware that you exist. Turn away from me for a moment. Just use your ears. Take it in. The part of you that is hearing my voice is the part of you that has never not existed. How close is your soul to you? I just demonstrated that. It's not like I am Keith and I'm in this body, or you and you in your body, and somewhere way in there tied to some sort of spiritual umbilical cord, a gazillion light years away is my soul, and some celestial event is happening and I'm next to it and there's angels around me going, oh. You can create that for yourself. And so yes, in a way it does exist. But you're here. Fully here. Or are you? I'm going to take a pause. I'm going to come right back. I'm going to maybe pick 3 people. Whoever it feels important, not that you're not all important. Whoever it feels I'm supposed to lean into. I'll do a few reads. I'm going to play some Lavender Soul, and I'm going to ask Kelly. Kelly, what do you want to hear, dear? Lavender Soul. Welcome, everybody. I got my air conditioner off. I'm an air conditioner? I should. I got my heater off. If I turn it on, my house will shake. This microphone will shake. So what I do is I turn my oven on, since it's an electric oven, and I warm up my tootsies. All right, let's see what Kelly says. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Center of Light. John Lennon, Beautiful Soul. Absolutely. Chris Cook, what's up, dog? Chris Cook in the house. Angela Tyner. Okay, Kelly, I'm looking for, what am I looking for? Kelly wants to hear, what am I looking for? That's kind of where we are today. It's where, what, who, why. What am I looking for? What does my salvation look like? That's a really good question. Really it is. I could sit and play with that and have fun with it all night long. But what does my salvation look like? Looks like what you see in the mirror. But what does it really look like? No one, no Bible, no Quran, no Torah, or no spiritual teacher can ever tell you that. They can only tell you, share with you what it is for them. And from there, you're kicked out of the nest and you're on your own. In fact, you don't want to become somebody else's clone. You want to be yourself. Don't follow the religion. The world is a religion. What you call your story is a religion. It's politics. Even your own life when you are unconscious is politics, because it's a system that governs you, your belief system. Don't allow it to govern you. Don't believe in anything. Know it. If you want to know something, move in it with all of yourself. Become familiar with it. Give it a massage. Make love to it until you know it as yourself. If Jesus is your thing, make love to Jesus. Massage it. Massage that beautiful idea until you know it as yourself. There is no other way. So the question Kelly posed through this Lavender Soul song is, what am I looking for?
place you haven't tried. Your search for love is taking chances. Have you ever thought to look inside?
What am I hoping for? A better world, is there a cure? What can I do to help the score? I'm at a loss, I'm just not sure. What am I praying for? To see the light around the world and the people's love restored. Peace on earth, of this I'm sure.
Where do you go to find your answers? There is a place you haven't tried. Your search for love is taking chances. Have you ever thought to look inside? Where do you go to find your answers? There is a place you haven't tried. Your search for love is taking chances. Have you ever thought to look inside? You hold the key to find your answers. I am the door you have not tried. Never again taking chances. Open your heart and walk inside. Walk inside.
Welcome back to Center of Light. I want to get to some questions I see happening in the forum. Beautiful people. I love this tribe. Dora's in the house again. Let's see. Sana, what's up, Sana? She says, yeah, things are pretty annoying. Kelly says, yes, all they do is argue. You know, if it's just so noisy. All right, let's get down to some questions. I see a couple of comments. Tanya says, glory to God and all his good glory. For sure. Lincoln says something really, really powerful. Don't let trying to understand the world or anything for that matter. And actually, this answers Paige's question. Paige says, what is salvation? And Lincoln answered Paige's question. Paige asked, what is salvation? Lincoln says, don't let trying to understand salvation. Don't let trying to understand it take you away from feeling it. Wow, you guys worked well together, Lincoln and Paige. That was divine. Tanya says, indeed, my mind took my spirit for a beautiful experience. Many more will come. Love one another. Lincoln says, there's that baby boy. Did you see my son? Is that what it is? Kelly says, I like your news. Beautiful song. Thank you. Hello, Melissa McElroy. Brenda Smoke, welcome. So I'm still trying to get used to this new TV and its coloring. Everything looks a little orange and red, and I got to do some work. But thank you for being here. I did say I was going to do some reading. Let me see who comes to mind. Paige. Hello, David Murray. Rapa. Paige, is there a question you want? I actually get the feeling, Paige, go ahead and ask a question. And Rena, get your question ready. Paige, give me your question, dear. That which is your salvation, that which is utmost important to you. I got it, Lincoln. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Center of Light. Good news. Update. The world is changing. I'm not sure if Facebook is freezing. My software is in peak performance, but the screen I look at is paused. The Facebook screen I look at is completely paused. So I'm waiting on Paige. Yes, Lincoln, that was Eden Sky crying in the song when he was about 6 months old. Yeah. I'm going to give it a few more seconds for Paige. If not, I'm going to give her my reading anyway. But I really like working off the energy of people's intent. Let me refresh my page. See my page? Actually, believe it or not, that is part of Paige's reading. Refresh the page. I'm going to give it a few more seconds. Refresh the page. Paige asked the question, what are the requirements for going to the light? You have to refresh the page. You have to refresh page. This is the card I pulled for you while waiting on your answer. It's kind of a hermit. He's holding a light. Right? So to reach the light has to be up. Up is a metaphor for God. Right. Upright. Being alone. I pulled this card for you, Paige, like this, implying there was a dark time for you recently with someone else, this horrible separation. And you've been treading in this place, walking in this place for quite a while. Though you're crossing the threshold, as Lincoln answered your question earlier, as the coincidence about Keith saying he wants to refresh the page, the message is yours, Paige. You need to refresh. And you do that by finally, at last, being able to see that very light you're speaking about. By walking that path, knowing that you are safe. You have been doing it alone for a while. Good on you, mate. You're there. It's not a place you want to get to as far as a linear place. It's that place that you don't think about. It's not something, as Lincoln said, honest Abe he is. It's not something you're trying to understand. It's something you try to stand under. Right? So if God is your umbrella, peace, liberation, joy, and all that, then you stand under that. In so doing, you stand up for something. That is the refreshing of page. The refreshing of your page is letting go of that older age sometime in the not so long ago past when you were truly turned upside down. That's over. It's over. I hope that worked for you, dear. Hello, Kevin. Paige says, is Rena on deck? Rena, would you submit your question if you're still here, if you have it? Is everyone experiencing the Facebook page freezing? Anyone experiencing a freezing Facebook? If you are, say yes, I am, or no, please. I'm going to give Tanya a quick reading before Rena, only because Rena hasn't dropped a question yet. Wow. What I have for you, Tanya, is Elwood says it is not freezing. That's good to know. Let me see if it stops by. Hello, everyone in YouTube land. Thank you very much for joining. Let's see if it stops now. The card I have for you, Tanya. Brenda says hers is okay. Brenda says yes. Nicole says no. Tanya has the Queen of Pentacles. Tanya, you are pregnant. You are birthing something right now, Tanya. You're bringing something about. You're the queen, the ruler of your own queendom, the mother, the birtherer, the one that oversees their spread. You are the queen holding this physical thing, the pentacle. The queen in a deck of cards is the number 12. 12 is 1 and 2. 1 plus 2 is 3. Father, mother, new birth. Father has been planted seed in you. Whatever that seed is, job, career, shift. Let me feel all of that out. The seed has already been planted, and now you're having these labor pangs. And in fact, I'm sure of it that you actually sense something coming on. Something about to shift for you, some sort of birth. And you know that it's something that you've never done before, never had before. A new something is coming, a new experience entirely. And somewhat, you're scared shitless about it. You're excited, but you're also nervous about it. Paige says, thank you, Keith. I understand. And thank you again. Paige has definitely refreshed her page. Maybe Rena doesn't want a reading. Sometimes Rena can be cool that way. She's probably full and on the mark. And maybe that's why I brought it up as a validation for Rena that she's rocking it. Dora says, awakening reborn. Okay, I'm learning everything with this new computer and why everything's so orange and I look like a bad self-tanning job. Tanya says, indeed, Keith, thank you. I appreciate it. You're welcome, dear. Nicole Elwood, bring forth the question, please. And Dora, if you have one. And Kelly, keep the questions short. And everyone that is here now that heard me just call out your name, I will throw out a card or two. I'm going to There's a few more people in the room now, so I have to keep to my guns. Hello, Crystal. Crystal is doing lots of thinking lately. She's been at her employment for a long time. Hello, Angel Girl. She wants a shift, I can tell. Tonight we have still are talking about the good news, an update of what's happening in the world. Here's the good news. The ultimate good news. When something not good happens in the world, equally, something beautiful happens. You have to have the want, the desire, the heart, the tenacity, the fire, the passion, the sincerity, the humility, and the vulnerability to ever be able to see that beautiful flower that blooms and opens up and unfolds the same time something disastrous happens in the world. Fires in the world. The Jeffrey Epstein stuff. Children trafficking. All this stuff. Everything that's just happening in the world. The fires in the world. Children trafficking. This happening. This, that, the other thing happening. Are you able to see? The good news is every time something tragic happens, something magnanimously beautiful happens. So, the more that something shows up in the news or in common knowledge that something major and not so good of a way happened, start looking for the diamond. Start looking for the diamond. When something in the world happens that is not cool, start looking for the diamond. You may be looking at a peanut butter jar and there's a diamond in it, but it's still a diamond. Okay? So the new you be born. Dora says we have to kill the old self. It's the only way. We have to step away from it, see it for what it is, and thank it gratefully. Yeah, absolutely, Dora. Yeah. Dora says, in order for us to ever understand the really good, we have to understand, or it's going to get bad before it gets good and better. I have to agree with that. It doesn't have to, because you can shift when you choose, but we are typically hard-headed, literally. My girl Kelly says, what should I be going towards your salvation, Kelly? What is my salvation? Only you know that. Could it be that? That's exactly what it is. It's the first one that popped in your head and you came to it immediately, automatically. It's telling you something. That applies to all of us. I have had so much I have gone through. Not sure what to do now. Exactly. Everything is possible. I'm not sure. So you're standing in infinite potential. That is hyper fertile ground. Just like I showed, the seeds have been planted. It's time for new birth. Now's the time to move in the window of doing what you love. Doing something you always swore you would do, but never put the time aside to do it. Well, never really. You always had the time. That's all you have. That's why you were born on earth, to live in time. Now it's your turn. Now it's time. For all of us. Kelly says, my birds say hi to everyone, especially Simon. Hello. She has some beautiful birds. Love it. Nicole says, can you just do a general reading for me? I don't have a specific question. I see a trinity for you, Natalie, are coming together. It's feminine energy. You don't have to divulge this, but since there's no way I can do it without telling you. You don't have to validate or say anything, or if it's right or wrong. There's a coming together with you, a young person, and a male person. A coming together or an understanding, coming to an understanding, a standing under something where there is an agreement. I don't know why this relates to your father as well, as if dad and other person or Same type of person, two different names, two different faces. There's something that your son is asking of you. Mom, please, please. And you're not sure. Always follow your own intuition. From this perspective, yes, it's fine. Your motherly helicoptering is good. You're doing it correctly in the helicoptering. You're not like a fly that's constantly buzzing and aggravating and annoying. Shoe fly, he says. That's not what he does. You're doing it correctly. But maybe this one particular thing that means so much to him, you don't have to helicopter so much and allow some of it. The reward will be so much more to your liking. Elwood says, I'm butthurt by not have the space to work on myself and grow into my better self. Then there's your answer. Don't be butthurt because you haven't been, because that keeps you in the butthurt and will keep you from doing. You're not broken. There's nothing you have to do, bro. There's no spiritual work to do. You're as spiritual as it comes. You can't get any more spiritual. What you can do is more things that help you to expand. Elwood's card is things are not always so black and white, Elwood. Because the divine feminine, God, the feminine, lives here in the heart, stands between what you have been looking at as black and white. I only have two choices. I have to do this, so I can't do that. So I have to do this, so I can't do that. This has kind of been your model, your lesson, actually, in this lifetime, is choosing between well or and you choose what you think is the better of the two. And we understand that. But you're ready for something else. You're ready for the queen, the divine feminine in you that stands between these two pillars that you've been acting on throughout your life. It's no longer the this or the that. In fact, that model is gone. You're the only one keeping those pillars erect. So it's not a this or it's not a that. And no, you don't have to choose in that regard because it's easy. It's not hard. As Lincoln said, the philosopher of the evening, he says, don't try to understand it. I want to go do this, and there's a feeling immediately. And then is, I have to. No, you don't have to. Very, very powerful information. Well, how am I supposed to eat if I... But you don't have to. You have provided. The universe has always provided. You are provided for. Everyone is provided for always. There's no way anyone cannot be provided for. Even those people that you call homeless, you think they're in such peril? Ask them how they feel about you, paying bills and this slavery of debt. And they're provided for. That's yours, bro. Expect what you have always called impossible. Make that your new normal. Debbie Shelton says, is my body ever going to get healthy and strong? Let me pull a card for you and I will tell you what the card says. And then I'll give you what I think intuitively is happening. But don't pay attention to the card nor Keith for your information. If anything that comes through that validates something for you, as simply a simple play of spirit saying, you asked this question yesterday, didn't you, Derwin? Then you can use that for your betterment. Always follow your intuition. If you don't, you're listening to the noise. I can be considered noise if something I say misguides you from your best life. And I would advise that you run away from anyone, including myself, that gives you advice, input, spiritual wisdom, quote, if it takes you away from your bliss, your joy, and your best life. The card I get for you is the Three of Swords. And I pulled it up right. Debbie, you had 3 major relationship catastrophes in your life. And it felt just like that. I get the intuitive feeling that this is directly related to your bodily condition or your situation. The pain, the pangs, felt like being stabbed. It felt like being just hit with everything. And this situation happening for you, you feel like you've been slammed 3 times. Hello, Janelle. Hello, Jason. I will share with you that you can, anyone can, this is not to be vague, but anyone can get through any catastrophe physically, spiritually, emotionally, mentally. Anyone can. Because the possibility of the infinite lives in everyone. So how would I can't even begin, nor would I ever want to say, no, you won't get physically well. I would never do that. I will share with you what I think it would take to encourage you, motivate you, push you a little further into the possibility, the grand possibility of your healing. So what I'm saying is, whatever you think is happening to you in your physical body, first, of course, address it. Western medicine is fantastic for the magic bullet effect. Fantastic for that. Beyond that, we need to look to the east. You get in a car wreck, you don't want to go see a Chinese acupuncturist or medicine guy. You want a surgeon. If you're in physical situation to where you require care, your grace is called care. Self-care. That's healing yourself already. Because if you're in pain, let's say you have fibromyalgia. Why did that just pop into my head? Let's say a person has fibromyalgia and they have pain. Why do they go to the doctor? Because they go to receive self-care. Because the doctor can prescribe, give them insight to something that will buffer the pain. So that self-care is self-healing. And in that regard, you are actually healing your body. It's not hard. You see, you're a healer. Never thought about it, did you? That same law, rule, principles, model applies on all levels. On all levels of being. Okay? When you let go, when you source out, and I'll be glad to work with you, you can contact me. We'll set up an appointment. We'll find the source, belief, injuries, wounds, clear them out. Same as going to the doctor for fibromyalgia, metaphorically. And he gives you some things that helps buffer your situation. Same thing I can do with you, for you, to you, with you, because of you. Find the source of where the bodily pains, quirks are at. Heal it. And the light you see behind the heart begins to shine through the heart. Okay? Let me know. Contact me. I'll be more than happy to work with you. Hello, Kathy, Stearns, Crawford, my dear friend, Cheryl. Crystal says, Debbie, let me know, dear. Set an appointment with me. Debbie, on your question in closing, you ask, is my body ever going to get healthy and strong? I want you to become spiritually healthy and strong. Then when you ask that question again, you will absolutely know your answer. How's that, dear? Crystal says, what aspect of my life should I be focusing on at this time? The one that does not cause you aggravation. Yeah, but there's no yeah, but. You asked a question, I'm throwing it to you. The one that brings you joy. The one that you were always told you couldn't or you shouldn't. In fact, do it anyway. That voice in your head says, but I can't because I remember unconsciously all those people who told me I should and I can't. That one thing that you've been wanting to do, go do it. And do it out of spite. If you have to, but do it. Not out of spite to the people, but out of spite for the idea that you have not been taking upon yourself to do this thing. Crystal, you take on a lot of responsibility. Except the one that's needed the most. In fact, your whole life and your tasks are surrounded by responsibility. Hello, Debbie Garcia. That's what you do, Crystal. Now it's time to take responsibility. Self-responsibility. Go on that trip. You know what I'm talking about? By yourself. Or bring your favorite person. But go on that trip. Elwood says, I've been wanting a place of my own. I can't seem to find a place I can afford. I feel like I'm living someone else's life and it's hindering. I hear you, bro. Just notice the words that you use to talk with me and review them. And notice what when you read this back to yourself, Elwood, my bro, read it back, okay? When you read it back as a spiritual teacher, or as you might think someone like me or anyone else would read what those words sounded like when they read them. Read those to yourself as if you were an onlooker and someone said, here are my words. And I want you to dissect them. Not too much. Don't try to understand them, as Lincoln said. Just feel them. How they feel to you. Because encrypted in those feelings is more information than you can possibly imagine. More information than you can possibly imagine. It will tell you things that words can never. Hello, Cora Brown. Dora says, if you start believing that you are healthy, you will experience it. You experience it in a moment. Dr. Deepak Chopra said he gave a clinic and he had 12 people around them. This is most important for healing a physical situation. Or any situation, on any level. He's an oncologist, right? Dr. Deepak Chopra, the famous Hindi doctor. He had 12 people around him, and no one knew their diagnosis, whether they had cancer or not. And he put all these cards in a fishbowl, and he pulled them out. As Dora just said, John Doe, you have cancer. And he said you could see in that moment, John Doe hearing you have cancer, that he was choosing to die in the moment. He says you could see the life leaving him just by hearing those words, those simple audio vibrations. You have cancer. The hairs in your ear tickle. The brain gets excited, sends information to you, and you have this feeling, oh my God, I'm going to die. Jim Doe, you're healthy. You said you could see the life rush inside this man immediately. Same thing. When you understand the possibility of your immortality, we're all going to pass one day. But when you have concerns, no matter who you are about anything, when you use this kind of leverage, spiritual leverage, you're able to erect your life with a greater capacity. And finally, I'm going to close off this presentation. I want to say thank you to my beautiful son, who allows his dad to play in the Garden of Soul. He's always in the garden. I'm still learning. I got to watch him to learn. I have 2 more questions, and I'm going to thank y'all. Please stick around. I'm going to close off with a spirit, so stick around. I'm going to read these 2 questions or comments from Paige and Crystal. Paige says, could you help me get out of my chronic back pain? I have had 3 back surgeries and now scheduled for a back stimulator. I have been in pain for 6 years. Paige, contact me, dear. I'll set up an appointment with you. I will. I'll get in there with you. I'll join you in your back pain. As an empath, I'll go truly in your back pain with you, like I'm doing now, and I'll go into that energy with you, and I'll start moving some light around in there, kind of loosening things up, okay? I'll set an appointment with me, dear. Absolutely, I would. Crystal says, thank you. I'll have to think about what doesn't cause me aggravation. You already know. Crystal, you may say, well, how do I know, Keith? If you have to think about what doesn't cause you aggravation, stop doing those things that you're surrounded with that aggravate you. Try that new thing, the one that you've never done. If this is what you're meaning, if I'm reading this question right. If not, if I'm not reading it right, my apologies. I'll have to think about what doesn't cause me aggravation. Is what you're saying. I'm surrounded by just I get it. Life can be a booger sometimes. And I would definitely do something for spite. Yeah, she's got that kind of vinegar, fire. Just because someone said I can't. I laughed when you said that part. Arjun Sazi. Sexy human creature, Arjun. Living in Dubai. Tanya says, I gave my doctor back my COPD. Dora says, also be always grateful for the good or bad because it could always be worse. Paige says, thank you. My name is Keith Anthony Blanchard. Thank you for joining me tonight on Center of Light News, the good news update. The good news is when something explodes in the world that hurts, something equally in the world explodes that is beautiful. But you have to be connected to beauty to ever be able to see what it looks like, and it looks like you. But you have to put that garb, you have to don the drape of light in order to see the beautiful light that happens every time the beautiful dark happens, actually. No one is without consequence. No one is without karma. No group, no family, no neighborhood, no town, no city, no state, no country, no continent, no world. It's time we right ourselves or get left. It's time to right or get left. Trust me when I tell you, it's better to love to life than fear to death. It's better to love to life than fear yourself to death. You are loved beyond measure. Hashtag. I'm going to hang out with my boy, eat some pizza, watch some cool movies on this beautiful 60-inch TV. Thank you, Lord. I am grateful for you being in my life. Peace, love, and always remember, live in the light. You're living in the light already. The task now is to do it consciously. You do that by stopping the noise of the world. Here's your good news update. Shh. But I can't. Shh. Yes, you can. Do whatever you have to. The clock is ticking. No one gets out of here alive. And the other good news is we go back to the light. You're loved beyond measure.